Hey everybody, what's up and welcome back to the Nashtea, your favorite Music City podcast. I'm Allie here with Ty as always.
What is up everybody?
Hello fam. Today is going to be a random rants episode and we always enjoy those because we have a lot to say. We have a lot on our minds.
Yeah.
And there's a lot happening in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of scared.
Yeah.
Help.
You're not alone.
But before we do that, we're going to get into our song of the week, of course. And we're feeling ourselves this week. We were both leaning country.
Sweet.
Which is, fine because we're here in Nashville, Tennessee. We got to represent a little bit. And you want me to start us off?
Sure.
On this fine evening?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I know in one of our previous episodes, if you had listened to our archived episode, I did a Carly Pearce tune, but I'm not counting that because that was last summer for us.
Yeah.
Not so much for you guys, but for us, I'm like, she's a new woman. She's got new songs out, so it's fine. I can do another Carly Pearce song. And so I am. This one is off of her new album that has yet to release. I probably should have got that release date for you. Sorry, but it's coming at some point. And she's already released some singles from it, one of which being Hummingbird, which is already performing super well. And I think there's another one that's out. Oh, Country Music Made Me Do It. Of course, that one she toured with a little bit. So
I like that.
Yeah.
See, just the title, you have me interested.
Oh, you would love it. Country Music Made Me Do It. Got me drunk and got me through it. A little something 80 proof, over 3 chords in the truth.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
great. Yeah, she's awesome. But the one that I really like is called Heels Overhead. And I'm going to read you a little bit of chunk of these lyrics because I feel like you got to get the full story. I mean, every line is a banger, but just load it up. They just all are so great together. So anyway, this is halfway through the second verse. From the way that she looks, you might think that you love her, but you know what they say about a book and its cover. It's up to you and not me to judge her, but y'all deserve each other. I bet you're head over heels this time. You love the way that she blows your mind. And now I see why you'd leave me, because she makes easy look so easy. All over town, all over you. She's good at the things good girls don't do. Knows how to wear red and her way around a bed. Bet you're head over heels, because she's heels over head for you.
Wow.
Shane McAnally, Josh Osborne, Carly Pearce.
Yeah.
The dream team.
The dream team.
Yeah. I mean, God, they're awesome. We're big Carly Pearce fans in this house, and we'll always be, of course, Shane McAnally. Can't go wrong there. And Josh Osborne. I can't even imagine the three of them in a room.
That'd be so fun.
It would.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I would, if I had any superpower, I would just like turn into a bug and then be a fly on the wall for that. Maybe not, because do flies understand English? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'll reassess my dreams.
Flies can see in slow motion, correct?
What?
Like,
I don't know. They
that's
have like
why
50
it makes us,
million eyes. So
that's
probably.
why it makes us it makes it so difficult to smash one, because while we're like, you're right on top of it and then whack.
Yeah.
They see.
Oh, I don't know much about flies, but
I'm pretty sure
that
true.
checks out because you can't catch one to worth a shit.
Of course, people used to teach me before the internet, so you could feed us whatever kind of bullshit you wanted to.
We believe it all.
We believe it. Yeah. Yeah.
We are your number one source for news that isn't correct. Oh my God. But I'm excited for yours. Tell me yours.
Okay. So, we have a lot of friends in this town that work with or are other artists and bigger artists in this town. And so I try to stay away from them usually because I don't want,
Yeah, of course.
I don't want to
try not to cross pollinate. We don't want to make anyone uncomfortable.
Yeah. Or like, oh, he's pushing an agenda or something like that. Cause it definitely is not that way. But so the other night I was just really frustrated with the album selection process, as you and I went into great detail about, and I feel much better now.
Oh, good.
However, trying to decide what the final four are, or the next
mid four,
mid four,
yeah.
It's
a big task.
Yeah, I thought I knew what I was doing, and then all of a sudden, you're second guessing yourself, and then yeah. But anyway, so I was like, okay, I'm going to do something out of the norm. I'm going to go listen to one of my friend's albums. So as I'm doing that, I get to his boss, and that is John Pardi. And so I'm going to give John Pardi a shout out. The song was Trash a Hotel Room.
Yeah.
All right. And I was just kind of like, I was listening in the background because I was watching March Madness on the TV. So I just kind of had it on in the back, but it got to that song and I went, that's fantastic. It's got like a 1960s feel, rock feel to
like
it.
A rockabilly kind of thing.
Yeah.
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 But one of the lines goes, trash a hotel room, we'll blare our music down the hall, throw some shadows on the wall, say skip the wake-up call until the afternoon, get rowdy getting reckless, won't crash till after breakfast, leave it like a tornado came through. Let's trash a hotel room, mess up those sheets, break a bottle or three, over a night or two, trash a hotel room. I like that.
Yeah. Which one was that off of? Let's see. On the Write You a Song. Okay. Look at the
Write
little
You a Song
baby.
album. The baby face.
Oh my gosh.
Little baby John.
He's giving Buble there.
Yeah, right?
I know.
It's like Elvis, Michael Bublé, and P. Diddy. No, I'm kidding. He does what he does so well.
Yeah.
And when you listen to them down, you're just like, you can't help but smile. Like you're like, they had so much fun in the studio and you can feel it like coming through.
I love that.
It was almost contagious. So I'd never really listened to him before, like other than the radio hits, but I'd never like pulled up
a whole
Pardi
thing
album and listened to it.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So I still have it, but I think I'm going to do that because it was actually really like the top ones that they had on the Apple.
Yeah.
Was really good. So you guys should check out John Pardi.
That's great.
But I really like the Trash Hotel Room, and he didn't write it.
Who wrote it?
I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't know. It says Goodvin.
Yeah.
Aaron Goodvin and Matt Jenkins.
Nice.
And I remember hearing the song being pitched around town. And again, we were talking a few episodes ago about like, should you record your own stuff or, you know, does that kind of hurt the art overall?
Right. Yeah.
I remember that's why that song didn't get cut at the time. It was just because everybody wanted their artists to be
writing their own stuff. Yeah.
So that they could double dip on the publishing side.
Yeah.
And so good on him. I love that. I love the George Strait, like the best song wins regardless. And he was like, why do I need to? This has always been my mantra. Now, I don't have, like, I'm not signed to a label or anything right now.
But it's cool that you can even say that. Like, I'm not signed with a label right now. Because, like, you've had that experience in the past. You've seen the pros and cons of that, what that brings. So now you're crafting your journey as an independent artist.
Oh, yeah, right.
And you kind of can make different choices should something come your way. Like, you're always open to hearing
absolutely
what people have to offer, but you have some additional hindsight to use to your benefit.
Right. Like, I know that, I mean, we're kind of getting off topic here, but...
No, I like it.
You and I had this conversation earlier, and I thought this I'm going to think about this one later tonight. But the path for, do you want to be winning Grammys or do you want to be winning CMT awards? There's a humongous difference. And sometimes, sometimes they're one and the same.
Right.
But rarely are they though.
Yeah.
You know, the Grammy community is more, the Grammy community is more sophisticated. They're more in the way that they...
Well, they're just consuming more music. So I think that they have, like, even if they're judging like a country category, they have not that country musicians only listen to country music. I don't ever want to make that insinuation, but like they're nominating, and the Recording Academy is nominating and consuming so much other content as well to be able to vote on it, that I think the things that stand out in the country category may not like be like top 40 country radio, which you hear, because they're looking for like something like Buried from Brandy Clark that has that like, whoa, that's a country song.
Right.
I didn't hear that on the radio.
Yeah.
And maybe I just missed it. But, you know, but Lainey Wilson, she was nominated for Grammys and she was on the radio. So there is, like you said, there's definitely times that it crosses over and then it kind of comes out and then it kind of comes back. Like, and there can be two separate ways of looking at it. So it gets a little sticky.
I'm not 40 yet, thank God. And I'm going to say that as much as possible. While I still can
celebrate it. I hear 40's a great decade though.
No, I'm not worried about the 40s. Mm-hmm. Like I really was when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I'm actually like okay with it. I think that I've made my mistakes in the past and hopefully I'm not going to make the same ones again.
Pardi.
Well, the overall sentiment was, if you want to be famous, like if that's part of your dream, that's okay. Like that's not, I mean, most kids have that dream at some point or another, right? Like
say it with your chest.
Absolutely. Like there's nothing to be ashamed about. Mm-hmm. I can honestly say for myself at this point, I would love to be a part of music and I would love to share what I've learned from other songwriters, other friends of mine, other artists, and I'd love an opportunity to, leave my mark on this town and it be something positive. Mm-hmm. That's all that I've ever wanted here.
Yeah.
And,
regardless of what awards it, warrants.
Yeah. Right. And so like, I wrestle all the time with, should I record the best song or the right song? Mm-hmm. Because there's been a lot of times when I've left the best song on the table because it just didn't fit with the flow of the message for the album. And I've had a lot of regrets of songs that I've recorded that I fought people on. I was like, let's not do this for X, Y, and Z, all the reasons. And you still think that it's the one we should go with. Yeah. You're paying my salary, so
guess we're doing it.
Guess we're going with this.
Yeah, that's tough.
And really tough. Then there are times when people think you're something that you're not, solely on the higher ups and the what you're told to do. So the beauty, I think, in what we're doing right now is I have the experience. I was blessed to be around a lot of really talented people and good people. Of course, there's always some bad apples in there, but for the most part, everybody was really kind to share what they knew about their experience. And then when I would make a mistake or something, they would hold me accountable, but also pull me to the side and explain to me why. Like
that's important. The
picture,
context.
Yeah. That it's not just about, getting a million likes on TikTok, that it's more about, you can get those a million likes, but if you can consistently get, your core group to be there, that's all that you can really ask for.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of what we're doing right now is we're building from the ground up and using the experiences from the industry. And I want to have the option to be on the radio if we want it to be. Mm-hmm. But that's not my end goal.
Right. You want to help people.
Yeah. We want to go out there and just share our music with people and at the same time, but I also know that the part of that game or whatever you want to call it, but the game is that you have to put asses in seats. We're all playing the same game.
Oh, of course. And that's what they say, though. Yeah, like they say, write the songs that you don't want to so you can write the songs that you want to.
Exactly, yeah.
Like
you have to pay for that luxury to write what you want.
Right.
You have to give the industry what that machine wants.
And sometimes you're creative enough, or you have the right people in the room, or they talk about like the magic, and they're like, is the magic there?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not just who the writer is, or it's like the vibe, the overall vibe, what is brought to you like when you're in a writing session. And sometimes you can get both. You can get a great number one hit sounding song that's super commercial and still has like that message behind it, or that depth, or whatever it is. But like, it's easier to write a hit song about trucks and beer, and like that notion is still very much alive, because that's what people like to consume. Like, that is what sounds great on a summer night when you're driving around town with the windows down.
You're so right, Allie. You just hit on something great, because when you're in the bubble and we're writing inside of the bubble, I think it's easy to get in your own head.
Yeah.
And you're like, I have this point that I really want to make, or my grandmother cooked this kind of food, and so I want to write about that kind of food. And then the argument's like, well, yeah, but it sounds better if you say fried chicken. It's like, no, she didn't make fried chicken.
She made baklava.
Yeah, baklava. And it's like, all right, but maybe just for the general, for the majority of the audience, maybe you say like a Big Mac or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. Whatever it happens to be.
Right. Yeah. You're specific in your imagery, but like not so specific that people can't find it relatable.
Exactly. Yeah. And I have a lot of trouble doing that. But here's the thing. It really took me getting to a place, I think, in my own personal life where I kind of don't give I mean, I do, but I pick and choose what I give a about.
Yeah.
And that's given me that freedom that we were talking about, where I can write stuff that is funny to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And not be so like, oh, I can't put this on paper.
Exactly. I can't even pitch this to my publisher, because they're just going to like get mad, or that I wasted time and whatever, no, now it's like, and so I think back to that, and some of the best songs that we ever came up with, and I'm sure you can vouch for this, is like, they're not even in writing sessions.
Yeah.
It's just in life. Like when you're in this town, or you're in a creative town like this, and you're around like-minded people, you're always thinking. And so like, even when you're out to dinner, your mind is always looking for inspiration. You're looking to be inspired by something, and you want to be the person to help inspire others. And like it definitely comes with a lot more responsibility than I thought it did when I was in my 20s. You know what I mean? Like, I won't make that mistake this time. I know that what I put out there, I'm responsible for, and what I say, I'm responsible for, and how that makes other people feel, I'm responsible for that part.
Yeah.
And
you have control over your image and your branding now, whereas before you didn't.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a beautiful thing, though. But the cool thing is that the way I try to look at it is this: 20 years of industry experience for an industry that's almost non-existent now. And so in the beginning, I think I spent the last like 8 or 9 years just pissed off at the world that all of a sudden everybody and their mom is putting out an album. Like, all you have to do is like record something and you put it out on iTunes, and it's there.
Out there.
And it's there's no getting a record deal and then building this thing and then having the greatest songs come through and all that. There's none of that anymore. It's
that coupled with the fact that now the market is so oversaturated.
Because
everybody can put music out. Like, it's the same thing. You're right. It's just, it can be overwhelming, and you're like, why would my art stand out, or why does the world need my art when everybody else is doing the same thing? And like, you go through that all the time. But you learn
this really cool thing about that, where you can use like this 6 or 7 years or however long you were with the show, that you spent on stage, all those little things that you learned on a night when like, oh, the AC's out, now we've got to play in 150 degrees. Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Or in the winter time.
Memory unlocked.
Yeah. I remember my niece was in from New Orleans or from Louisiana, Houma area, and she was up visiting, and it was the weekend that AC unit went out, and so remember the show got postponed till later in the evening or something because they couldn't get a new unit in there in time. And it was God. Like so hot. It was
so hot. Yeah.
So on her way out to the airport, she swung by just to say goodbye one last time. And it was so embarrassing because she like walked in and we were all just like laying on the, like I was hugging the stage, just trying to like find cool anywhere that was cool. And she walked in there and I'm just like,
what's going on?
Hey, I was like, this is, so now you get to see what happens before the shows. And
an extended rehearsal.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Mine core memory, like the burned into my brain, is just like puking out back, like 5 minutes, not even 2 minutes till show.
Did you really?
Yes. And Deidre's out there. She starts the show and she's like patting me on the back. She's like, "You're okay."
Oh my God.
And then was like, "You're gonna be good, right? You're gonna be good." I was like, "Sure."
I just need to know, because if you're not, then I'm gonna go get the janitor. So
I was like, I guess we're doing this. All right. That's Nashville
that's
for
pro.
you.
That's a pro. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was like ghastly white on stage, but
yeah.
it's all good. You gotta do it.
I think but I think the point was that although the path to success nowadays, although it's different and anybody can put their stuff out there, that's true. All those little things are gonna come in handy when we're gonna go out there just like everybody else, and it's kind of like dog eat dog again, but it's really always been that way. It's just now it's more people, and everybody's cousin has an album out, and but it doesn't mean that you can't use everything that you learned on how to do it the right way, so that we can teach the next generation and keep the quality of music going.
Oh yeah. Right?
Like, we had a hiccup here for a few years and I contributed to that, where it was like bro country and all that stuff. And there's a lot of great stuff there too. Like, I'm not, some people did it well, and then other people just, it was a financial move or whatever, but I think that
and if that's your shtick, if that's your shtick, if that's your shtick, then get your coin. Like, do that, and because people like it, people listen to it, and just because it might not be our cup of tea or my tea as a writer doesn't mean I can't support it and like lift up other artists that like are doing their thing. Ultimately, you also
have to understand that things go in cycles.
They absolutely do.
And so
George is coming back.
So if you're not unique, if you're not yourself, then you can pretend to be whatever you want for the time being and get notoriety. Yeah. But in 10 years, you're going to be non-existent.
Right. Definitely.
Right. Especially like if you can't change with the times, then you're gonna get left behind.
Right. And if you are like through and through, like to your core, if bro country is like who you are, then like be that guy and do your thing. But
I don't think anybody is though. Well, I think it's that we created this image, and then people thought they had to live up to it. And a lot of these guys that wrote songs,
I think a lot of the writers are.
That's what I mean. But like when
the artists, I think some of them are just like,
most of them are like Abercrombie and Fitch models now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, country music used to be ugly like me. Now it's like a whole bunch of pretty boys. I come out here and they're like, life is so hard on the farm. And you look at their like hands, and you're just like, you've never touched a shovel.
Perfectly manicured.
In your damn life. And you know it. And we know it. There's a time and a place for like achy breaky heart. And right now there's too many like achy breaky hearts. And so the younger generation is seeing that, and they're going, Florida Georgia line, like that cruise is where it's at, Well, if that's what you're writing towards is cruise, you're already going to be behind. Yeah, you're already behind.
Right.
So you may catch the tail end of something.
He means at the time that cruise was popular.
Correct.
This isn't like cruise now.
Not
this
now.
is like when it's on the radio, you're already 2 to 3 years behind in
That's
terms
correct.
of like A&R and like, the trending things. And, so now you really, you should never do like what's trendy just because of it's trendy. If you like it, like in the fashion world and the furniture world and like interior design,
it doesn't mean you're not.
Jewel tones were really popular in the last couple of years or so because the pendulum was swinging back warm. I happen to just really love jewel tones anyway. So, like, if I decorate my house in a certain way or whatever, even when that trend passes and it looks dated, like, I'm going to be
You're
okay
still
with
gonna love
that
it. Yeah.
because I still like it. Now, if icy grays were unpopular for a really long time, if I did my whole house like that, now it looks outdated and I hate it. What's the point? And music's the same thing. Like,
Right. That's such a well said. Yeah.
if you make art you're not proud of, either way, whether it's trendy or not, if you look back on it and you can't say that was true to who I was in that phase of my life,
Bingo.
I just did it because I thought it could get me somewhere, then you're never ever going to be happy with it. You know?
Yeah. Your next song is always going to be your favorite.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Of course.
And then hopefully it's not like it's not like playing a sport, right? Where you practice and practice and practice. And then you get to a certain point where then you're just fine tuning like your free throw shots and stuff, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like, but you know how to play the game of basketball. You could do it in your sleep. Now you're just fine tuning the little
Making it
things.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like that in songwriting where like you write a hit or what you consider to be a hit or what you hope is a hit. For your level of songwriting, your best song may not be as good as my best song, and then my best song may not be as good as Joe's blows over here.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth, which keeps everybody pushing forward.
Yeah.
The song Cruise though is what your base is, the baseline for what is trendy in a hit. Mm-hmm. And then it's Cruise followed by their next follow up that was similar. Then you had other people start. It was the same with the Big and Rich, Gretchen Wilson, Jason Aldean. It was this like dum 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 dum. That's what made Big and Rich unique and different though, because they were the first. And I love that. Like I love when those artists are the ones that took the risk, because now they doubled down on their silliness.
Yeah.
And I think that hurt them, because then they tried to do like serious songs and nobody would believe them.
They were like, give me more of that.
It's like, I want to hear more Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy.
Exactly.
So then they have to give them loud, and then they have to give them like more things that are like
are along those same lines.
Right. Because that's what they're demanding. So then they find Gretchen Wilson, who's this like untapped, raw, like, hell of a voice, straight out of a honky tonk. Like she's country. Fit the bill, right?
Yes.
Had like a bunch of kids out of wedlock or something. I don't know. Like, but it was as redneck as it could be. It was perfect, or at least the way that they created the story was perfect. So
they
naturally,
used it to their advantage.
She's gonna, of course, and we all do, right?
Yeah.
Like it's okay,
right?
But what I'm saying is that Gretchen, if you listen to a Gretchen Wilson album, you take her vocals out, and then you listen to a Big and Rich album, you take his vocals out. It's the same thing.
That is wild. I'm literally like,
and you can go like along the lines, like in any genre, in any at any point in time. And I guess you could do that with movies and things like that too. I only focus on music, but it's just always been that way. And so what's popular now is not going to be popular in 10 years, but in 20 years it will be again. It'll just be a recycled hybrid version of what it was. Like nothing is ever new.
No, you just got to reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, but even in knowing that, right? It's like someone told me a long time ago, a guy that signed me to BMI, and he goes, listen, I don't even know what he said. I had this great thing. I got so excited about it, and then it blanked.
Also, how do you get signed to BMI?
No, wait, what do you mean?
You said you got signed to BMI.
Yeah. Or I signed with BMI.
Okay.
the one who brought me. I guess he was working at BMI or something, or the head of BMI or whatever. So he brought me in, and because I was talking to get CSAC and like, you know,
they're trying to figure out your P.R.O.
dining you. Yeah.
Come here because we'll do X, Y, and Z.
Right. They recruit you like a college athlete. But yeah, that's like crazy. If they want you, like they'll go after you. They'll come after you, and then they'll wine and dine you and take you out and like and so that was my experience, and so I was this close to going to CSAC.
Because who was doing all your administrative stuff? The label?
Right.
And the publishing company?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. That's a bitch.
Oh my God.
I hate song administration.
I know. But I know how to do it. But I know how to do it now. And I know people that work in that office. And so like that's who I send my stuff to. But again, like that's a luxury you get, you know, like you know people in this town now. It's not that you're cutting corners, but if you know somebody that can help you out right now, like that's who you go to. Like you earn that right, I think. You know, and but anyway, I do think about that sometimes about like,
well, should I just do a little flippity floppy?
So then I go find out, and I'm talking to my friends. I have two friends, well, a lot of them over at CSAC, but I have two in particular that I was talking to.
His only two friends.
My only two friends on planet Earth. And they're both at CSAC, so we're rivals. They get their money faster over a long period of time. I make more money. So make of that is what you will, or however you say that. Yeah. I think ASCAP's similar, where like, in you know, I haven't made money in the industry in a while, so it could be different now too, where BMI is like, yo, we'll pay you up front too. But the deal with that is,
I don't think so, because I got royalties from like. I won't
so
go into it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's still pretty delayed.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
But the good thing with BMI is that you get every penny.
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones they're essentially giving you a loan. Right. On hopeful future sales.
So you get it faster, but
you may
pay a little bit more, like a collector's fee or something.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I don't think I knew that.
So there's all those like different layers to it that when you're picking a place to go, you know, this is not the way that it is anymore. This is old school way, but everybody had if you were with one group of writers, most of them were with the same group, and everybody swore by their way.
Yeah. I feel like now people kind of intermingle a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like everybody wants to help everybody out and be like, don't get screwed, man. Don't get screwed by the man or the machine, you know?
Right. Right. Which is great. I love that. I feel like we always need to continue to foster that community, because the best way to like turn yourself around and help the next person in line, like Tim McGraw said, is to continue to like spread awareness on these things and these topics in our industry, and also just to like be, you know, helpful and, you know, collaborate. If that's in your wheelhouse, do it, you know, because you can learn so much and you can give knowledge to other people.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so slept on, and, you know, people are very gatekeepy in the city, and I get it. I really do, because there's some crap that can happen.
I mean, I'm that way too, like with my people.
But like with songs and with music and stuff. I mean, like, you know, in the industry, like there are resources that you can use to learn more about song administration, and, you know, just making sure that all of your ducks are in a row, and you should definitely lean on those sources. And we might even link some down below. Maybe not. I'll probably forget that I put this in and then not do that.
We might
send us an email if you care enough.
We might end up talking about something completely different. And this will only be like 10 minutes of the segment.
That's too long. I'm going to do my Reddit. Okay. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you're right.
I know. I don't want to be here all night editing.
No.
We lost our producer. Julie's out of town, and I'm very sad about it.
Key West, they're living up life. Okay, so my Reddit this week really isn't on. At 1:30 in the morning last night.
Yeah.
Julie and Pearce are down in Key West, living the good life, while we're all here holding down the fort, working our asses off.
Yep.
They're just swimming their asses
Taking
off.
care of Cheech.
Yep.
Not the weed, the bunny.
That's right. The weeds for later at night.
Oh, okay. Wow.
No, I'm kidding. So a lot of things happened though. Unfortunately, the missing college student Riley was found in the Cumberland, as we suspected.
Presumed. Yeah. Unfortunately. God, the pictures of his parents.
Jeez.
Oh man. And the dad just had like that look of like he was trying to be strong. The mom just lost it. Like the photos got me. I couldn't even watch any of the press coverage. I was just like,
yeah, I didn't really either. Once I heard that they found him, I was like, there it is. Like, that's
it's just crazy how quickly it can go from like you're literally celebrating with your friends, the best time of your life, about to graduate, and then like, just make sure your friends get home safe. Like, and no one's to blame. Like, they are all going to blame themselves for the rest of their lives, and they shouldn't. But at the end of the day, like, you know, different choices could have been made, and we wouldn't be here. So, like, just take care of your people, you know?
Take care of your people, yeah.
Yeah. Designate someone. There's a reason it's called designated driver.
Well,
Uberer, walker.
Especially, you know, that's a great point, Al, because I had friends when I was living on 8th Avenue. A lot of them went to Lipscomb. Not to like get them in trouble or anything, but
police.
Right. But on the weekends, we would go over to Melrose, like the pool hall.
Yeah.
Get pictures of beer and stuff. You know what I mean?
You
like,
could walk from there.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Awesome.
Sorry. Yeah. But so we would always, and then on the way back, Athens was the Greek restaurant that was right there. I know. Go figure. On 8th Avenue in Nashville, Tennessee, there's this amazing Greek place. Gone now, like everything else. But it was open 24 hours. So on our way back from the pool hall, we would always stop in there, get some breakfast, dinner, you know.
Yeah.
And then stumble our 2 more blocks or another block home. Even back then, I mean, guys are just douches. Like when they're in their 20s, you know, they're just young, early 20s, you know.
Yeah.
And even back then, I remember like whenever somebody was messed up, we all identified it and we're like, make sure that person gets back safely.
Yeah.
Now, this is not in any way like throwing shade on Riley's friends or what were they, fraternity brothers?
Yes, yeah. Because it gets easy to get separated downtown.
Downtown, my gosh.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
It's a really, you gotta all be on point, and you know, he has equal blame and everything.
Absolutely,
happening.
yeah.
So,
but I mean, but you're right about that. His friends will think about this forever, and they shouldn't hold all the blame. But you should. It is a great lesson though for everybody else. Like, just look out for each other. I mean,
yeah.
There's this one time downtown that Pearce and I were going back to our car. We were walking back to our car, and I hate going downtown with my daughter because she's, you know, early 20s, and so, you know, people will say things and stuff like that. It doesn't.
And then you'll kill somebody.
Yeah. But so she and I are walking back to the car, and there's these 2 drunk guys and a girl, like in the middle of them, and they're walking past us. And the guys are obviously out of their mind drunk, and she is too. Like, she's wasted. What they asked Kirsten and I was, hey, dude, she should sleep with us tonight, right? And I was like, well, in the state that she's in, I think that's illegal. But
yeah.
And so I just kept walking with Pearce because I was like, that's what scares me about downtown. You know, is like, I don't ever want you to be in a position where you're with somebody and then those people aren't taking care of you.
Yes.
Right. So now you got 3 people that are up that something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to, you know, somebody's wife is about to cheat or somebody's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you see it all down there, the debauchery, and it's just, for him to slip out, get kicked out, and then just disappear into the crowd of people, like, that's not unusual.
Yeah.
Right. And especially not being from
local,
here. Yeah. To wind up on the complete opposite side of town. That's not unusual either.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a lesson all the way around. Also with what is going to be the Reddit for tonight, because, last night at 1:30 in the morning, we all got the alert that like this giant, cargo ship ran into the Baltimore.
Yeah.
The bridge in Baltimore Harbor.
I didn't believe it at first.
The Francis Scott Key Bridge, right? Early Tuesday, at least 6 people are missing. There was electrical malfunctions on the ship, shut the ship down. They tried to power it back up. They radioed in and said they were having problems. So as far as intentional, there's no reason at this moment to think that.
Yeah.
Right. It was just it was an unfortunate incident, and it hit a piece of infrastructure that, like everything else in America, is probably, crumbling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it didn't take long for the whole thing to just get swallowed up. That was really sad.
Well, I guess, the way to, this isn't really a Reddit. It's more just 2 unfortunate instances, but I just want to point this out real quick because Riley, the whole thing with the Riley incident was, we hear a college kid is with his frat brothers, gets drunk, gets kicked out of a bar, and then goes missing. Right. And all of us that live here, we're like, well, probably
in the river. Yeah.
Now why that's a magnet for people, I don't really know. Yeah. I don't understand. Like, it happens too often, right? Like, at least a few times a year, like somebody ends up in the river floating down the Cumberland, and it's like, because they got drunk and twisted up and turned around. But how do you end up in the river? Like, that's what I don't get.
Yeah.
So my heart hurts for that, because it means he was so out of it that he didn't know where he was.
Yeah.
But online, the story starts gaining traction because of the lies and the rumor mill online. And so it becomes this national story. Where's Riley? The Riley kid that goes missing, and we've spotted a homeless person that was wearing his shirt, and now we've got to search all the homeless people because they're dangerous. And they probably assaulted him, stole his wallet and everything. Well, we found his wallet by the river. See, over by the homeless camp. It was the homeless people.
Yeah.
Right. And like, the homeless people, mind you, were interviewed, and they were as helpful as could be. They were like, he was stumbling and falling into the bushes, and we were kind of yelling out, like, we didn't stop him or anything because we're minding our own business. Yeah, right. But we're like, that dude's drunk as shit. Like, he's going to hurt himself. And come to find out, Riley's still wearing his Apple Watch. He's still wearing the same shirt that he was wearing. All that stuff was just bullshit and messed with the investigation. Then they started rumors about how the police weren't being cooperative with the parents, which is just false, because our police chief is a badass motherfucker. And that's what leads me to this thing last night. All that we know is that there was an electrical malfunction. You can see it on camera.
Yeah.
Whether they faked it or not.
Right.
It is like shutting down.
Yeah.
There is smoke coming from the thing, and it ran into a pillar and it knocked the bridge down. That's all that we know. Now, one of my buddies, and I'm going to call him out right now, only because this is what he just posted. Hold on.
China.
Yeah. How did you guess?
I just knew. In my heart of hearts, I knew. TikTok and cargo ships.
Where is it?
He probably took it down.
No,
just kidding.
It was just up there. Oh, I see the bridge. But here it is.
Oh God.
Chinese ship hit the bridge in Baltimore. Sun Tzu, Art of War. One of the first things, take out infrastructure. Just my opinion.
I had to read The Art of War in 9th grade.
And then
boring.
And then
yeah.
They hit the Francis Scott Key Bridge. You telling me the guy who wrote the national anthem, that bridge is the one that got knocked down?
I thought it was a girl.
Oh no.
It was a guy. Yeah. Guys, I am the most patriotic person in the whole entire world.
At least you knew the name.
I did. I actually did. I remember that.
So
that's probably why I thought it was a girl, because I just always thought Francis. It's a girl,
Francis
right?
Scott Key. Yeah, he's the person who wrote the national anthem.
And I knew that they could see like the fireworks during the war.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
they were assumed it was a girl.
I guess I could see that though. I could see that.
Oh shit. Okay, I'm rewriting history. It's fine.
Music Row is as hot as ever, and Francis Key
is a dude.
Is a dude. The guy that wrote our national anthem. Load up, boys. This was a terrorist attack. Okay, now this is the bullshit that gets started, okay? And for all of you out there, maybe it was China. Maybe it was. We don't know that. And you want to know something? I know for damn sure that my buddy doesn't have any inside knowledge that we don't have.
Yeah.
All right, so like this isn't Kim Jong-un in North Korea sending over,
Yeah.
No, like this isn't President Xi or whatever his name is in China.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
This was a malfunction and it accidentally hit the bridge and it just happened to be named after the person who wrote the national anthem.
We're not sensationalizing here because we see what happened with Riley and his story and his narrative. So we're just going to go by what's been given to us right now. Yeah. Maybe that makes us lay people or whatever. I don't care.
People? Woke?
No, just like...
If that makes me woke, guys, I don't know what woke is, but if that makes me woke, then I'm a woke mother.
It's like a lay person is someone who's not like in that profession or industry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I only know that because of my therapist.
That's awesome. My therapist never said that. You're fired. No, I'm kidding. You're the best.
Done.
Love you.
Boy. Yeah, so that's awful. I don't know.
But my point is that happened an hour ago, and now we're talking about it's China, and it's because it was the Francis. I keep wanting to go Coppola. Francis Scott Key Bridge. So somehow now...
I mean, you're in Baltimore. China, everything is going to be named after a patriotic person. Like,
yeah. Let's try. Let's all of us try for the next week until we have our next podcast. Let's do our very best not to add fuel to fires where we don't know all of the facts.
Okay.
That's not for you. Like,
just for everyone.
It's really for my buddy over here. And I'll tell him in private, stop with this China shit.
Bro, you made the cast, bro.
Yeah. Like, they hit. Okay. So you're telling me that China hit us with the virus, right? They couldn't keep a lid on the petri dish, so all kinds of shit like came out.
Yeah,
and they could have wiped all of us out. Yeah, they went to that elaborate plan, right? Now all of that is believable because I'm like, then again, why did they do it to their own people? But
that's what always got me. Yeah. And people are like, "Oh, collateral damage." I'm like, still, they care way too much about their birthing rates and things like that to like. I don't know.
That's a good point.
Anyway.
I don't think China did it to... I think it was an accident. They were fucking with shit they shouldn't have been fucking with, and then it got out, and it was like venom. They're like, oh my God, this thing's out there. But my point is that you think they went through all of that, and they're like, oh yeah, let's hit them with a second round. Let's take out the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Really? So a global pandemic and then
culminates to
and then
this.
The bridge? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Guys, look out for each other. Look out for your friends when you're out there.
Yeah.
We love you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will see you next week for another rousing episode of The Nashtea. And until then, be good to each other. Be good to yourself because that's really important. And we love you guys. So we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah. Peace.
Bye.